Well, there's a lot of things that kind of started it, but one of the first things, my wife bought me a book by Peter Egan, which is called Leanings, and through that book I read a lot about some of the rides he'd done over the past, and I thought it'd be kind of neat to ride coast to coast on an old Honda, because this year is 45 years, celebrating 45 years of American Honda in the United States.
Well, what happened, we went dirt bike riding the one day, and we got back to the house and we were goofing around and stuff, and he said, we did that ride, let's ride the little Hondas across the country. I said, I already have a Superhawk. I said, if you find a Superhawk, I'll think about it. So a couple months later he calls me, I got one. I got what? I got a Superhawk, so now we got to do the trip.
I had to kind of trick him into this, and our wives actually had a lot to do with it, because both of them said we'd never do this. Well, we were a little apprehensive a little bit, but you don't know if a bike this old is 40 years old. Is it going to go 100 miles? Is it going to go 10,000 miles? But we took a lot of spares with us. We had no support vehicles, just him and I, and we carried all of our spares with us if we felt we needed any. And turns out that all we needed came in the toolkit that came with the bikes. We made it here we started in Torrance, California at the Honda National Headquarters, and we rode to Palos Verdes, which is about 7 miles from Torrance, where the Pacific Ocean lies. We dipped the rear wheels of our bikes in the Pacific and rode across the country to Virginia Beach. And in Virginia Beach we dipped our front wheels in the Atlantic Ocean, and from there we rode down through North Carolina and up to here.
Once we first started, we come across the desert. It was like 108 degrees for like 3-4 days. I go, man, it's pretty hot out here. He said, well, I'm a desert rat, you'll get used to it after a while. So after 3-4 days I got used to it, and we got up in the mountains and it cooled off, and it was pretty good after that. We did 4,420 miles.
I think the most difficult part was probably the 500 miles that we rode from Topeka, Kansas to Indianapolis, Indiana, where our tires were pretty much worn out. But our first 5 days of riding was, the coolest day was 105 degrees. So that was a little bit much on the tires to take. To me, this is where Honda really started. This is where the history of Honda lies, and there's a lot of heritage, and I believe in that a lot. And these motorcycles, when we were riding across the country, we thought about what motorcycles would we dare take across of this era. And there aren't very many motorcycle brands that we would have taken other than Hondas. When we stopped at places, people would say, do you think they'll make it? And other people that were standing would say, well, of course they will, they're a Honda. And they're right, because they're just a fantastic motorcycle. And it is a dream that we've both had for a long time. We wanted to ride cross-country. It would have been a really neat thing to do, and it was an opportunity, so we took it. Well, we stopped so many places. We got so many things on tape, or on camera, I should say, that it was just incredible. So there's just lots and lots. There's no one particular item that stands out. Everything was perfect.
Yeah, it's more than we could ever ask for. The scenery, the people you met, the weather we had fantastic weather. Had a little rain on the East Coast, but overall once in a lifetime, as we called it, a ride to remember, and it's something we'll remember forever.